I'm going to tell you a story today, an interesting story, a story that changed my life forever. The story goes like this. I have a friend of mine who takes care of strays, street animals, dogs, cats, cows, and we have a good friendship, so we help each other out whenever we can. Once she called me up and she said there was a dog that was unwell, and then she rescues quite a few of them. She rescues one of them, and then she put her in a hospital, and then conversations. We do keep sharing her stories of how she rescues animals and so on and so forth. Then this one was a very strange incident, and she said, "Why don't you come by and meet this dog?" And his name is Dheera, Dheera, Dheera. And he was just an ordinary stray dog, and he was friendly with the pani puri vendor guy, and he had tied a big cloth underneath his vehicle where the dog used to sleep and hang around. Normal street dog, nothing fancy about it. And one day he just called up and said his dog is limping, his hind leg were down, and we don't know what happened, whether car bumped him or don't know what it is, just unwell. She rushed him to the hospital, called me up and told me he's unwell and when you come and see him. I said, sure. There were days when I was free when I wanted to meet her, she was not available, and then when she was free, I was not available to have a conversation. This went on back and forth a few times. Then one fine day, I got a message from her, a pretty, you know, unsettling message that, she said, I don't know, I don't have the strength within me to keep him going forward. He's getting sicker and sicker and sicker. I think we need to put him down. And she said, tell me something motivating, to keep him, to help me strong and to keep him with us. And something came with me. I just wrote one single line to her and told her, his life is more important than yours. That's all I said. And then a few days later, we both happened to come by. And we actually came and met Dheera. And these are good people, very good people who actually take very good care of the animal. And when I actually came and saw him, he was in such a state. And I couldn't believe my own eyes. Like, what am I seeing? They're keeping him on a plastic sheet with those cotton things on the sheets that absorbs thing. These are good people taking good care of the animals, and they're trying to put the dog either side, every few hours, and actually pressing his stomach and abdomen and feeding him so that he poops and pees. And well, that's almost 15 days. To my horror, Dheera had to suffer because she is somebody who is doing a lot of work with a lot of stress, and almost all her income she puts into this, and she's been doing over a period of decades, and she's almost exhausted all her friends who would give her money. And she was actually struggling to raise funds to get this dog a wheelchair. And when I saw this, I could not believe my eyes, because in our country, India, we have around 8,000 engineering colleges. In the state of Karnataka, we have around 300, 350 engineering colleges. And Bangalore alone has over 100. And all put together, over the period of time that we have been there, there are lakhs and lakhs and lakhs of engineers. We're talking about building airports and metros and now an underground tunnel road and a lot of engineering marvels. But Dheera is suffering. Who's going to tell his story? And how can we call ourselves a developed society or a developing society when the voiceless are suffering? So many engineers, nobody could fix it. I kid you not. At the same time, I had a friend of mine. I just met that person. His name is Shiva. And I just met the person a couple of days only. And he was a mechanical engineer. This was around 7:30 in the night, I called him up, and I stay in South Bangalore. I called him up and I said, "Hey, could you just come by and check on this dog?" And he was such a sweet guy. He stayed in Hebal. It took almost 2 hours. He came all the way. He looked at the dog. He took a piece of string, and then he did some measurements and all of that. And as he just drew a wheel cart in about, let's say, 20 minutes, the whole activity. In 20 minutes, he drew a wheel cart and said, "Yeah, this will work for the dog." I gave him 2,000 rupees cash and said, "Please, could you build it for me overnight and help him tomorrow?" He said, "Sure, I'd get it done." That day night, we all said our goodbyes. We all three came together. We all said our goodbyes and we left. And I came the next day morning. Dheera was no more. That soul held on till I came. We all got together. We saw society's state it is in right now. And after all of this, I couldn't accept this anymore. And I had to go forward and make some change. And then, as the story goes, we kind of went and buried him. And when we buried him, I happened to take 3 strands of hair, little salt, little kumkum, and a flower, which I carry with me every day in this card. After I buried him and we walked out of the burial place, I just picked up my phone and I saw the time was 11.11. It was 11:11. And that's the day I decided to become a vegan in remembrance of Dheera and pursue heart and soul for the benefit of the voiceless. That's the story of Dheera I would like to share with all of you. Thank you.